Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are you all right, Scott?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yes, looking forward to this one. Welcome, everybody, to another Main Token Space. Thank you all for coming on this Friday, the 26th of April. We've got a very exciting one today that I think looks really cool. A very interesting gaming and betting project called Play Versus. I'm your co-host Fred Goat, and we have obviously our host Scott Crypto Warrior.
Yeah, how you doing, bro? Have you got him up as a speaker?
I have invited him as a speaker. Um,
Hey guys.
there
Oh,
we
okay.
go.
Yeah, it's showing as a
Yeah,
it's showing
it's
as
not
a listener
showing.
to me.
It's not showing on mine either. X is a wonderful platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
No,
a
as long as
that's a polite word for it.
yeah, as long as he's up, that's great. Yeah, thanks to everyone that's joined today, and I hope you're all having an amazing Friday. Thank God it's Friday. How you doing, Go? How you doing, mate?
Working hard, mate. Working hard. It's been a busy one this week. But yeah, looking forward to the weekend, even though I will be working over it as well.
Bless you, bless you. Do you want to give a brief introduction of yourself, mate, and who's behind the accounts?
Yeah, sure. First of all, GM everyone, and thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to doing the space for a while. My name's Louis Rice. I'm the CMO of Versus X. Also the co-founder of Free Protocol as well. So I did a space with you guys just the other day. But yeah, really keen to share our project with your community.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. To be honest, obviously I invested. So obviously, for anyone that's listening, I do have an investment in this project. So not financial advice. Do your own research as always. But I do really like what you're building. I'll let you get into it more. But in my opinion, this sort of thing is really cool. Like PvP, like betting against each other, and like these sort of games. I think it's going to be really amazing, to be honest. Who doesn't like having a little bet against their friends, etc. But if you want to just touch on that briefly and what the project's about, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I'll try and keep it short and sweet because there is so much to it. But it's very simple as well. We're essentially a Web3 gaming studio, and we've created a product. Our product is called Versus X, and it's a first of its kind skill based wagering ecosystem focused on realistic sports games. So essentially, what you said, we've got PvP wagering, so you'll be able to play a game of pool, golf, or karting, or basketball, whatever sports we add by the end of the year. You'll be able to play with your friends, random people online. You could even play with your nan if you want. And you'll be able to, yeah, exactly that. You'll be able to wager against each other. So if you imagine playing, like PGAL, or like some golf game or something like that with your buddies, and you all wager $5, and winner takes all. So that's essentially what we're building. From a real top-down layer. But yeah, there's loads of other moving parts to it as well.
Yeah, it's really great to be honest. Because me and my friends, we always do this sort of stuff. Go for a game of bowling, have a five for each, and stuff like that. So, and a lot more people are doing it online now, and gaming. So I do think it's going to be amazing. How can I just ask you something? How do you actually choose the games? They're not self-developed, or can you pick any sort of games and add it into their protocol, or how does it work?
Yeah, so good question. So the studio's actually founded by, traditional gaming industry veterans that have been in sort of the gaming space for 20 years. So they've worked on games like from our childhood, things like Colin McRae Rally, Football Manager, all of that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, basically they've built, it's one game, it's one download, and it has several sports inside it. And then the wagering layer is just something that runs in the background, and it's all completely frictionless as well. There's no gas fees, there's no signing transactions or anything like that. It's all very simple. But yeah, in future, and it's a good question that you've asked this. In future, we do plan to open our own platform, Versus X platform, where we will add other people's games to our wagering ecosystem. So as long as they're skill based, as long as that's very important, and as long as they're built on the Unity engine, we will be able to add our wagering model to it. Whether that's wagering at the beginning of the game while you're waiting in the lobby, or wagering in the game as a prop bet, we should be able to make it work with our SDK.
It's amazing, really is amazing. To be honest, I haven't actually seen this. I've seen a few companies in the past, but they've had like no big backing of games like yourselves. Yeah, Goat, have you got anything?
I've been on the site because I didn't know about this project obviously until the AMA was coming up. So I went on the website and I thought it looked, a lot of crypto games, as you'd call them, they don't look great. But when I was on your site and I was watching it, because I'm a bit of a gamer myself. I love leaderboards. I love trying to be the best at something. And watching some of the videos and stuff of the games look good. I was looking at the golf, especially the mini games. It reminded me of like Super Monkey Ball or something, and I was thinking I could easily play this, and it got me really interested. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, we've done a lot, I think, in terms of like innovation. I think that there have been Web 2 games that have had sort of wagering things in them. Like there was NBA 2K, you could wager against people online, and with an in-game currency. It was really popular. You could also buy the in-game currency with your credit card, but you couldn't off-ramp. So we really are innovating. We're also seeing a lot of Web3 gaming projects now start to adapt to this wagering model. And the reasons for it is very simple. If you look at how play to earn games work, you're essentially paying someone to play your game. And for Web 2 gamers, it takes all the enjoyment out of it, because they're like, I don't want to be paid to play the game. I play a game to escape work, to escape all of these things,
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, sorry for cutting you off. I totally agree with this. And play to earn, in my opinion, is a failed model, because at the end of the day, it's non-stop. What do you call it? It's like inflation, isn't it, of your token? Whereas this is completely different, because people are betting against themselves. I don't know. Do you take a fee of each bet or something like that, or how does it work? I haven't looked into that properly myself. Do you take like a percent or something?
Yeah, so you're quite right. We take a rake, which is literally, part of our revenue model. We have a few various different revenue streams, but this will be, one of our main focal points. Dean, the founder, he's a bit of a visionary, really, because we've been building through, since 21. So it's been through the bull run, the NFT bull run, bear market, and now back into, the crypto bull run. So, he's been building hard, and he had the vision back then when Axie Infinity and all these other play to earn games were huge. Like, he could understand that this, model wasn't going to last, and the Ponzi-nomics and everything was going to fall apart and wouldn't last through the bear market. And that was when he came up with the wagering model. And if you think about like poker, I like to think about poker. I like to play poker. I'm not the best at it.
Yeah,
I
love poker. I love it. So, and I can see at the end of the day, the house always wins, because they're not gambling their own money or giving money out. They're taking a rake of every pot and stuff like that. So I can completely understand how this works, and it is quite well. To be honest, I haven't really looked into it that much because I've been really busy. But I've been the last 24 hours. I've been looking more into it, and I think I will be investing more into this, to be honest.
But it looks like so you can do player versus player bets, right? But you can also do like challenge modes and stuff, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we basically have a PvE mode, or arcade mode as we call it. So if you don't want to wager against other players, then you can wager against basically the house, right? And we use AI and an algorithm to balance token distribution. So basically, to simplify it, you could play a game of pool and you would wager $1 and it would say pot 6 balls in 60 seconds. And it's like, that's easy. I've won my $1, and then later on in the day, if we've distributed more tokens throughout the day, it will be pot 7 balls in 60 seconds. So the challenges will get more hard. So skilled players should still be able to win wagers. But the kind of unskilled players or inexperienced players won't be able to just keep earning essentially, and that's balanced by an algorithm and AI on the back end. So that's a really unique feature to the game. But also we have the free to play path as well. So if people aren't interested in wagering and they just want to play, competitive sports games, or if they want to play, casual games like pool and stuff like that, then they can completely do that as well.
That's really cool. That is, like, because I might be funny, mate. I know so many people that are addicted to these like 8-ball pool and stuff like that, and they don't play for money; they play just for like fun and like winning cues and stuff like that. Which is, and I know how much revenue these sort of games make. And yeah, it's really, really clever what you've done here. To be honest, will this be an app? Will you have it as like an Android app, or how will it work?
Yeah, good question. So right now we're building out mobile builds. We're optimizing them. Basically, if you play on PC, it scales up to 4K, like it's really high quality graphics for a Unity game. But yeah, we're working on optimized mobile builds, which should be out later in the year.
Yeah, really cool. Sorry, Goat, but you have something to say then, mate?
I was going to say the free to play model, that so you can practice basically without having to spend any tokens or anything, so you can get better obviously before you start wagering on yourself or betting on yourself to win.
Yeah, exactly. So you can practice, but you'll also be able to play the other game modes as well, free to play. The reason is, like we understand that the Web3 space is where all the magic happens. There's a lot less red tape. Anybody is essentially an investor. You know what I mean? But we understand for this game to reach its full potential, we need to be able to target a Web2 audience. And to do that, there's a few things we need to do. We need to make sure the game's completely frictionless, so no gas fees, no transactions in game. We've already done that. We need to make sure we have the optimized mobile builds that are available on App and Play Store. We're working on that. We need to make sure that we have the free to play path in game, so there's no barrier to entry. We don't want to exclude anyone. We want everyone to be able to play this game no matter where you are in the world. And then the other thing that we're also working on is bringing in official sports licensing. We want to bring in proper brands into the ecosystem. We want to have Ping Golf Clubs and Riley Snooker Cues. We want to make people feel comfortable. We want them to be able to trust our platform. And that's why we've built our avatar how we have. We've got a highly customizable on-chain avatar. You can change your trousers, your shoes, your jacket, your hat, all in game, and it updates on chain and it changes your PFP. So we've taken a lot of inspiration from how GTA and how Sims work with customization in game. So you've got a wardrobe and you can go through and select all of the wearables, we call them, which are essentially on-chain NFTs. If they're in your wallet in game, or the connected wallet to the game, then you'll be able to access them in game. And like I said, once you equip them, if you have the High Roller NFT, it will update your PFP on chain to reflect the changes in game as well.
That's insane, man. Honestly, really clever, man. No, fair play. So, how long have you been building this then? Since 2021?
Yeah, so the founders first put the initial concept together in 2021. Started all the socials and stuff back there because of their traditional gaming experience. It was really important for them to build an MVP and launch that and raise money off of the back of that. So we were building out the MVP until 2022 when we closed our seed round. And yeah, we've just been building ever since, really. And yeah, I think the other thing as well that's really important to know is, like, and I already mentioned it a little bit, like the wagering model and also like the frictionless gameplay, like that was Dean's vision back in 2021, and now it's like standard practice. It's like rule of thumb for any game in Web3, but he was preaching it back in 2021, so really was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's really clever. And I would totally agree with the way you say about play to earn. It is like a massive Ponzi. I know most things are these days, but I totally agree. This is definitely the way forward. And all it takes is for you to get like a few streamers playing, or big streamers, because obviously if it's free to play, people can just play against each other. And you know, this is just my marketing sort of background speaking, but you could even do tournaments, free to play tournaments where people can earn tokens and you know get more people into the game that way as well. So it's really clever, man.
Yeah, 100%. We're also building for like the community as well, and like potentially to be esports ready one day. So we have spectate mode, we have lobbies. People will be able to set up their own tournaments and stuff like that. So during the bear market, we've seen a lot of communities, NFT communities, gaming communities, and stuff host their own poker nights and stuff in Discord to keep people engaged. You'll be able to host your own versus X night, whether it be a pool competition, a go karting competition, whatever. You'll be able to white label it, add your own logos, your own prizes, your own criteria for winning the competitions. You can even have token gated competitions. So, for instance, we partner with D Golf. They're a sub DAO of D Gods. They're a golf like brand. And they could have a golf competition against Links DAO, which is obviously the biggest NFT golf community there is. So yeah, we can do quite a lot of like innovative things for the Web3 space, as well as having our big push towards Web2 as well.
Yeah, I love it. So anyone can use any sort of tokens, or do you have to be partnered with you to add your tokens so people can wager your token, or is it all in versus X?
Good question. So using our token is a utility token. We want to encourage people to use it within our game. There's lots of use cases for it: marketplace fees, upgrading, wagering, arcade wagering. But we've also added partner tokens to our game as well. So we've partnered with some pretty heavy hitters out there. A lot of them haven't been announced yet because we do proper campaigns once the game's launched and we add their token. But we've already announced Neo Tokyo, so we fully integrated, or we will be fully integrating Bytes 2.0 into the game as a wagering token for PvP wagering. Also Ultra IO as well, Octavia. There's I can't. I'm like I got to be careful because I can't remember who we've announced and who we haven't announced.
Yeah, be careful.
But yeah, we also announced Neon just the other day. So Neon EVM, we're adding their token and we're using them to bridge to Solana as well. And I think they got like a $1.3 billion FDV. So, with integrating these tokens, what we do is we just give a nod to them and their communities and we say, hey, come test our game out, come wager with the token that you got in your wallet that maybe doesn't have much utility already. And in return, we do growth campaigns with them. We also build them assets and stuff. If you check on our Twitter at the moment, you can see the Neon EVM assets that we made. Everything we do is insanely high quality.
Well, maybe we can speak about adding main. Do some main tournaments.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like we are bridging tokens from other chains as well. So we're built on Polygon. We're also bridging to Solana. So tokens on Polygon and Solana will be really easy for us to integrate. Tokens are on different chains, similar to Neo Tokyo's Bytes and stuff like that. We can either work with Layer 0 or we can work with Chainlink and do CCIP. But yeah, let's discuss it, dude. Like we will be adding a lot of permissionless tokens to the game as well. I think when the closed beta launches, it will have Matic in there, so people will be able to wager with our token, a couple of guest tokens, some we've announced, some we haven't, and then also Matic as well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That'd be such a fun night, Scott.
I know. So, is there a reason you launched on Polygon?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. Like I said, we were founded back in 2021, and the vision from the founders was to make everything frictionless and pay all the gas fees on the back end because they could see that Web2 users are not going to want to be paying $20 every time they stake a chicken or some shit like that. So Polygon was really the only chain that could offer us that back in 2021. So I think initially they started building on there, and I think other chains have popped up in the since then that have probably taken the lead on probably gas fees and gaming infrastructure and stuff like that. But because we'd been there for so long and we'd always planned to be cross-chain, we were like, let's launch there and then let's just bridge to all the other chains.
Yeah, that's a great answer, to be honest. So obviously you are planning on bridging to different networks in the future.
Yeah, like I said, we've just announced Neon EVM this week. Like, we love the Neon guys. They actually invested in our private round as well. So we'll be using them to bridge to Solana. Don't have full dates on that yet, so can't really announce. But that opens up a lot of opportunity for us. We can tap into Solana communities. We'll be able to integrate Solana NFTs and tokens into the game. We will have NFT wagering later in the year as well. So we can potentially add, Solana NFTs into the game for wagering and stuff like that. So we have met with several other blockchains, especially leading up to TGE, because we had a lot of blockchains reach out to us and just, discuss potentially migrating over there. So yeah, once we've got Neon fully up and running, and we've sort of managed to stabilize ourselves, because we've got, I think, 15 token partners that we've not announced and not integrated yet. So we've got a bit of a backlog. So once we've caught up with that, I imagine that we'll start looking at another chain as well.
Yeah, man, great answer. Yeah, because Solana, in my opinion, hasn't really got much utility on there at the moment. So this could be huge for you as well if like the Soul guys come into your project. So no, really great, mate.
The good thing about that as well is when that Dupe airdrop happened the other day, or any of these big airdrops happen on Solana, the network is pretty unusable. So for gaming and stuff, you'll get loads of failed transactions and stuff. So if we've onboarded a lot of Solana communities into our game by bridging via Neon's EVM, then it means that when the network is busy, they can still participate in our game and they won't have any of the other issues.
Yeah, makes sense. No, it's really good. So when is the better launch and stuff like that? Got roughly?
Good question. And I ask the devs every day. I'm like, when launch? But you know how these things go. It should be very soon. We were hoping for the end of this month, but we hit TGE on the 2nd, and we've been recruiting. Like, if you go through our timeline, you see we've just added some real industry talent. People that have worked on things like Diablo and GTA and stuff like that. So we're in a phase at the moment where we're trying to scale up internally. So we're trying to get as much ready as possible for the next, to be able to hit our deadlines for the rest of the year. But yeah, long story short, don't have an exact answer for you, but we are basically live testing wagering on mainnet internally for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be rolling out a closed beta. So hopefully a couple of weeks time.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, if there's any spaces for the closed beta, put me down. I'd love to try it and
me
give feedback.
Yeah, when the open beta's live, we'll have to stream some big wagers.
Yep, me against Goat.
We got a few streaming boys in Maine, don't we? Like Haribo or whatever.
Haribo streams normally like casinos and stuff. So obviously, I could ask him to do a little stream for you as well.
This is a good point as well. Like people that stream casinos and iGaming and slot machines and all of that sort of stuff. Go back 10 years ago, this didn't exist. People didn't do this, and like the research that we've done suggests that skill-based wagering, what we're building now, over the next 5 years, you're going to have streamers that are dedicated to this genre of gaming, and it's wagering, so people always associate it with gambling. But skill-based wagering sits on the outside of gambling, so you don't need like big gambling licenses, and it's mainly legal across the world, whereas gambling is illegal throughout most, not most, but a lot of regions. All you need like heavy gambling licenses as well. So yeah, we're very excited. We're happy to be at the forefront of this as well. And like I said earlier, we're seeing a lot of Web3 games adopt this skill-based wagering model now as well.
I mean, let's be honest. Having a little wager definitely makes the game more fun, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. We the founders, they did a lot of work with Foresight Sports, and those guys basically, they make all the golf simulation stuff. Not sure if you guys have seen that. It's getting pretty big here in the UK now as well. Actually, I went to my driving range a couple of months ago. I hadn't been in a few years, and they've got monitors and scanners everywhere now, and you can be in a driving range bay and you hit your golf ball, but on the monitor behind you, you've got like a proper golf course that's in in America or something like that. And they did a lot of work for the Foresight Sports guys, and they're starting to add wagering now to those monitors. So you can go to a driving range with your buddy, and then you can have a little wager with each other. So yeah, we reckon over the next sort of 5 years, there's going to be a huge skill-based wagering boom.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And to be honest, I know what you mean about the gambling, and I think Twitch bans like streaming of casinos. But I think that you might get away with this because it's not actually it's wagering, isn't it? It's not exactly it's not casino streaming. Because a lot of people, because I used to watch Rothstein and Trainwreck and stuff like that, and they actually had to make their own platform for the gambling, didn't they? I think it was Kick.
Yeah, they
Um,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think Kick will just keep going from strength to strength as well, because I think Twitch has just pissed off so many people. They banned, like I think a lot of gambling. I think some stuff's still allowed on there, but then they just let the women walk around topless and stuff like that. So they've
yeah.
upset a lot of people, and you'll see. I think we'll see Kick get a lot of that market now, especially as like we've been saying, like these things will just keep getting more and more popular.
Yeah, 100%. Have you spoke to any streamers, or can't you really give that information?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good question. We've basically is a funny one, right? Because we've founded 2021, so we've been in the space for a long time, and we've been speaking to people throughout that time. And people never usually like to attach themselves to projects before TG, and they like to see how it reacts and stuff like that. So we spoke to a lot of streamers, a couple of months ago. And to be fair, I think Web3 gaming streamers, they don't really like getting involved with projects before TG. And I think it's because they don't want to ruin their reputation and stuff like that. So we found much more luck and happiness with crypto KOLs, but just because they know what the drill is and they know how the things go and they know how to properly assess tokenomics and stuff like that. But yeah, we're working with a couple of different agencies on player acquisition campaigns. So once the game's actually live, open beta, and we can actually start collecting a revenue from in-game, we'll be pushing a lot more on streamers and user acquisition campaigns. But for the meantime, we'll slowly start onboarding them, getting them ready for that push. But we'll continue to use crypto KOLs because obviously the token's live now.
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't understand, get ready for the boom, but not financial advice, obviously. Nah, but end of the day, I know exactly what you mean, and it's a lot harder for Web2 people to promote projects and stuff like that, as you say. But as soon as it's live and they can actually show what you're building and how great it is, then they'll be a lot more comfortable in promoting your product. So I totally get that. Yeah, so do you want to just touch on the tokenomics and what was the launch price and this sort of stuff?
Yeah, good question. I don't have it all to hand. It's been a while since I've looked at it, actually, even though TG was only a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, basically, we did quite a few IDOs, actually. We sold out every IDO. It was really popular. But yeah, we launched at like 16.5 cents. And at the moment, it's only a couple of cents higher than that. But you know what I mean? But what we did is, we launched, we didn't want to push back our launch, and the token was an area that we were really strong, and we were in contact with a lot of IDO platforms, a lot of VCs, a lot of CXs and stuff. We launched on MEXC, Gate, we're on the DEX as well. But yeah, we launched, and there's not really any token utility live yet. So over the next couple of weeks, when we got staking, when we got the open beta, and all of that sort of stuff, people will be able to interact with the token a lot more. So I anticipate that we'll be in a much better position there token wise. But yeah, with in terms of tokenomics, we are. I think it's 25% is for like community rewards and payouts in game. So this is, as we touched on earlier when we were talking about play to earn. Obviously, we have a pool of tokens that are rewards for gamers in game, but that would be done through sort of like arcade games, season passes, and stuff like that. So players will play the game and they'll wager, and if you win wagers, then you win tokens. But like I said, because of the algorithm, those tasks slowly get more and more difficult until we start recuperating back some tokens. So should keep us sustainable for a long period of time.
Yeah, great answer, mate. Great answer. So you said you got staking coming live. Will it be like native token staking, or will it be like revenue share of the platform?
Yeah, so we've got. I'm not sure how far they go with it. I know initially it's going to be native token staking. We might and this is maybe a bit of alpha here actually. We're building a new website. We're kind of overhauling everything, and it was always the plan once we got to TGE, and it was like, just take some time, rebuild this, get new people in, kind of restructure the team, and then really set up for ramping up. So we're having a new website built at the moment, which will have staking pools, vesting, NFT reveal, and all of that stuff built into it. But potentially we could be slipping out a third-party staking pool in the meantime, just to kind of reward early adopters and also incentivize, long-term holders and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, sounds really good, man. So, what marketing have you got plans like coming up for this year? Like, are you gonna? I know you're doing like Web3 marketing at the moment, but will you do like general marketing for Web2 to try and get the non-crypto people involved?
Yeah, great question. We 100%. We need to be ready for it though, and it's similar to why we're not working with streamers and Web3 gaming KOLs at the moment. And it's because there's no way for us to earn revenue from the game. So there's not much point in, spending loads of money on marketing in that area right now. And it's the same with the Web2. Web2 users won't really enjoy the game until we've done the key things that I mentioned earlier. So game's already frictionless, but obviously it needs to be out. It needs to have the optimized mobile versions. There needs to be the clear and clear and obvious free-to-play route that leads to people spending money in game on skins and customizations and potentially coming over to wagering. And we also need to start working with those traditional sports IP as well. Like we want to bring the brands into the game, and we want it to look and feel very trustworthy straight away before we start marketing towards a Web2 audience. But we're partnered with Uptick. We've been working with those guys for a long time. And they do marketing for Marvel, Kabam, Disney, all of the Web2 mobile games. So they'll be putting together some big user acquisition campaigns for us.
But yeah, that sounds really good. You got anything, Go?
I'm just wondering about the distribution of the game. So, is there any talks with? Because I don't know the sort of legalities around. Well, not legalities, but I know like. Are you going to look to like get it on Steam, or is it just going to be sort of downloading from the internet from a web page, or how's it going to work?
Great question. Yeah, mobile builds we're planning to have on App Store, Game Store, or Play Store. Sorry, for the actual game itself. So it's not a WebGL game, so you do need to download it. You can't just play it on browser. We are partnered with Ultra.io. Not sure if you know those guys, but if you haven't, probably reach out to them because I'm sure they'd love to do a space with you guys. And they're basically like a Web3 gaming blockchain. I think they founded back in 2021. They launched their token back then as well, and I think they may have had a pivot or two to get where they are. But they've basically built their own version of Steam, but for Web3 games. And to be honest with you, there's loads of them. There's like 10 or 15 of them now. It's hard to keep up. But we're partnered with most of them. Exclusively, our closed beta will be on Ultra.io. And we've also integrated their SSO, which basically means if you have an Ultra account and you download our game, it creates you a profile like instantly in the game, so you don't need to set up a separate Versus X profile. And we just did that to remove an extra hurdle and just make it feel that bit more integrated and frictionless. So yeah, we're good partners with those guys. But yeah, once the open beta is live, we will also launch on several other gaming platforms. We'll launch on Gaming, we'll launch on Portal, and we'll also launch on there's so many of them now. I can't remember all of the names. But yeah, we're not going to have our own launcher. Maybe once we got our own platform in future and we've added other Web2 games with our wagering layer, we'll have our own launcher. But for now, we'll be hosted on other gaming launchers.
That's interesting. So what was the name of that the company that you first mentioned?
It's called Ultra.io.
And so that's like Steam. I'll check that out. I'll see what's on there.
Yeah, they're really good guys. Actually, we've been partnered with them for a long time, and like I said, we've been building for an incredibly long time. So some of our partners have been around for like a year and a half. And we were nowhere near launching back then as well. So we love these guys. We've worked with them for ages, but they've done some really innovative stuff as well. Like they've added Web2 games onto the platform as well. And basically, if you finish the Web 2 game, you can sell a digital copy of it, which is really cool. Because, when you played on PlayStation, they first brought out the digital copies. It was like, oh, I can pay for a bit cheaper to get a digital copy and I can download it overnight. I don't need to go buy it. But when I'm done with it, I can't trade it back in. So now they've allowed people to basically uninstalls it from your profile on the client itself. And then you can sell it on the marketplace. So that's really cool. And they were the first people to do that.
Yeah, that is cool. Because if you look at my Steam library, I'm up to about maybe 1,000 games. I'd love to be able to sell all of them.
Yeah, I have a friend, Hooded, actually. He is notorious for making everyone download and pay for a game and then not playing it himself and uninstalling it. So I've currently got hundreds of games on there as well.
But no, I think the games look really good from what I've seen. I think with a lot of projects that obviously start with gaming and things, it's all about the real hurdle is the actual mechanics of the game. Is it fun? And from what I can see, to me, I want to play it. I want to play that the golf game, the pool game. They look good. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's fun and it's difficult enough to make you keep playing, especially the golf. Like the early versions, like the dev builds that I had, like I managed to get a couple of holes in one. I don't think I've had a hole in one for months. So it is very hard now.
I did see you sort of swipe the mouse up to hit the ball, which you have to have a perfect sort of straight hand if you want the perfect shot. It looks quite good. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in trying out the beta and obviously winning and beating everyone.
No, I'll definitely want to try it out as well, to be honest.
Yeah, no, good luck. There's a couple of different swing mechanics, actually. You can actually switch between two. But when there was an early mobile build, I was convinced that I would be better on mobile than on PC. And I was like, mobile players are going to have such an advantage at pool. You'll be able to get a ruler and do a straight line and stuff like that. And I am 10 times better on PC than I am on mobile. It's like chalk and cheese for me. But that's how I play as a gamer, So... but yeah, no, it's really fun, and like I said, it's difficult enough to keep you coming back.
Yeah.
Can I touch on one thing? Sorry, cut you off.
Yeah.
How will you like combat the there's always cheaters on games. How will you plan on monitoring this sort of stuff?
Yeah, great question, and that's part of the reason why we're going to roll out a closed beta, and we're going to do it in phases. So if anyone wants access to the closed beta, make sure you grab yourself a High Roller NFT. You can see that in our link tree, or sign up on our website as well. A bit of soft shilling there. But yeah, so basically we'll be rolling out closed beta.
Mate, you can pin it in if you've got a link to it, pin it into the nest if you want, so people can see who's in the space now.
Yeah, we'll do. But yeah, we will be in closed beta for a couple of weeks, probably 4 weeks or so, and then we'll be pushing for the open beta release. But during that time, we will be optimizing, the distribution of rewards, but also we'll be optimizing the anti-cheat stuff as well. So we're going to be using all of the, top of the range anti-cheat stuff that. I'm just going to pin this one just because it's going to stop distracting me from going through the timeline. But we're going to add all the top anti-cheat stuff that Unity has to offer. Mobile's completely different because you can't really have hackers and cheaters on there. They're really good at creating firmware to stop people from cheating on mobile games. So that's also one of the reasons why we want to push the mobile games out to the Web 2 audience. But also we're close partners with Octavia, and they do a lot of AI integrations as well. So we'll probably be doing a lot of AI integration, moderation stuff as well. If worst case scenario, if we do have an issue, then what we do is some sort of escrow system, where basically winners of wages, if there's a dispute or something, then the funds would just get held until we can review it. But that's literally worst case scenario. But we've got several options.
Yeah, that's a great answer, mate. And my mate Harry Rose actually just joined the room. I can see him. He's the one who does the streaming, so we're definitely going to have a wager, Harry Rose. I know you like your gambling, $1,000 on pool or something.
We've got, we want to be able to work with KOLs transparently as well. So one of our marketing strategies, post launch and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, we have NFT wagering as well. So we'll put maybe like a bag of VSX or an NFT or something like that on the line, and then we can get streamers to basically have a tournament against each other, and then the winner gets the bag of money. So there's a pretty cool way that we've got lined up to work with KOLs and streamers.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm not going to mention the project now, but I've actually helped another. Oh, it's actually quite a huge project, which has done really well, and they've done the same sort of thing, but they've done like an esports competition, and they gave away quite a lot of Bitcoin, and it got quite a lot of big streamers involved. So this is definitely a good way of doing it, mate.
Yeah, money talks, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
we are we're very community driven as well. Obviously we appreciate that being in the Web3 space, like people's attention spans are short and stuff like that, and you obviously need to capitalize on the hype. So we've had our community open for a long time, and we take everything on board that people suggest in there as well. When we had early beta testers, like we had an open beta, like I think it was early last year, so there was no way to earn in the game. We didn't do any marketing around it. It was just literally an open beta to get feedback and fix bugs and stuff. And some of those guys are still around, and they're asking every day, like, when's the beta out? When's the beta out? Because they had such a good fun experience in there. So we can't wait to launch. Obviously delays and stuff happen, so we hope to get it out within the next couple of weeks for the closed beta. But I think, yeah, everyone, the team included, are just really excited to get the game out there and be able to play again.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited about it now. Obviously, I got to know you a few weeks ago now, and yeah, I'm really excited about it, to be honest. So let's touch on 1 second. Do you have obviously you got plans for like the bear market and stuff? Where obviously, a lot of people in Web3, all they look at is token price, and that's if the price goes down, people just don't get interested. Where with a project like this, it's absolutely amazing because it's not all to do with token price, is it? Like, at the end of the day, you're still going to have your games and wagering. So, what is your plan for the bear market?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's important to point out, because we've done IDOs and we did stuff like that now. We kind of have like this token price attached to it. So there probably is a bit more concern around token price than there should be with a project like this. I think personally, if we didn't do IDOs and stuff, we did like a fair launch or something like that, we would be buzzing right now, you know what I mean? Because we wouldn't be close to IDO price. But yeah, to be completely honest with you, this is why this wagering model works so well, is because if someone wants to wager $5 against someone else for $5, it doesn't matter if our token price is $10 or if our token price is 20 cents, they will still wager that amount of tokens. And with all of the partner tokens and stuff like that as well, we will be collecting rakes. That rake goes back to the treasury, and then that can go towards things like buybacks and stuff like that as well. If we want to lock up tokens and focus on the token price, we can do all that stuff in future. But yeah, the bear market is inevitable. We're never going to be green 24/7. So our plan is Web 2, and if any Web3 game tells you that their bear market plan is not Web 2, then they're crazy, because that's where the gamers are. Essentially everyone that's playing in Web3, they're investors or they're farmers, right? So we need to have those things in place. Like I said, the optimized mobile builds, we want to have the IP, we want to have we want to be able to have these free to play paths that encourage people to potentially wager or to buy collectibles and consumables in game. So yeah, really, really important. But yeah, Web 2 is essentially our bear market plan.
Yeah, and to be honest, mate, that's amazing to hear because, like you said, any project that just focuses on Web3, they've got no chance with gaming, in my opinion. There's been very, very, very little success in gaming on Web3. So yeah, I'm really glad to hear that you're going for Web2 because it might be funny if you look at the Play Store, you get I don't know how many millions of people have downloaded something like 8 Ball Pool and stuff like that, and you just with Web3 they struggle to get like a few thousand holders of players. Do you know what I mean? So I do think Web 2 is definitely the way to go. Can I just ask one thing? Will there be like an on-chain, off-chain ramp for people who want to, who aren't in crypto at the moment? Would they be able to buy your token in game with credit cards and like sell it and stuff, or how will that work?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that just yet, but I imagine that we use a third party on and off ramp because obviously we want Web2 users to be able to play the game and just use credit card or PayPal or Apple Pay or whatever. But not 100% sure what the devs have got lined up for that just yet.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
was thinking the exact same thing, to be honest. Like it's sort of like something that needs to be there because for mass adoption, especially on mobile, to have the option is always going to be good.
And you'll make an absolute fortune because I'm not being funny. My 8-year-old son, he's addicted to this Fortnite at the moment, and some of the amount of money I've had to spend on skins and stuff like that. Swear to God, it cost me an arm and a leg, mate. So if people can buy like collectibles with actual money, I think you'll make an absolute fortune.
But yeah, 8 Ball Pool's a good one, and I think the guys that created that, I think they did have a stab at a Web3 game. I'm not sure what's happened to it, but it was a big part of our market research. I think 6 months or 12 months ago, and I don't think I've heard anything from them recently. But there's another Web3 founder in the space, Matthew. I think his name's Buxton, and he's a real great guy. I've had a couple of chats with him, and he was part of the 8 Ball Pool team when they first moved from like Miniclip to mobile, and when they first started integrating like microtransactions. And I remember him telling me a story about when they first made this, they had like this sort of like lucky wheel thing, and you would pay some in-game tokens and it would spin the wheel, and you had a 0.5% chance to win a lucky Q. And he said they launched it, and he went to bed, and he woke up in the morning, and they already had like 400k like trading volume through this like in-app purchase thing. And he said there was people in Saudi and stuff that were spending like 40k on it trying to win a pool queue on a game you can't even off ramp. So yeah,
I can imagine, mate. I can imagine. I'm not being funny. I've seen it with things like Clash of Clans and all these sort of games. They make so much money from in-game purchases, and you don't, like you say, you can't even sell that stuff. So if people can have a chance of winning, like for example, an amazing queue or golf club, or which is it's yours, and you can sell it on chain and stuff like that. It's like what's that? I'm not really big into this, but Trainwreck and all them not do it. It's like you open boxes and stuff like that. They spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on these boxes and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, the CS:GO boxes.
That's it.
I had a pretty good stab at that actually. What happened? I think my first $50 or something, I pulled like some $800 pair of gloves, and then I sold them on some like third party black market type thing. And then I was hooked for the next couple of weeks then, and I managed to pry myself away.
Why does everyone get CS:GO items and I just get nothing every time? I must have opened up 200 crates on that game and I've had nothing of value.
It's crazy, isn't it? You see people on YouTube that pull like 3 legendaries in the space of like 5 minutes and stuff, and then other people spend like 20k and pull nothing.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
I've never been into it, to be honest. I've
never been into it. Yeah.
I watched Trainwreck open like 100 grand's worth. I thought, bloody hell, man. But if you can do something like that in your system, mate, the amount of people that are going to be like hooked on like watching streamers and stuff like that, the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? As long as the platform is smooth, and it's all about getting users at the end of the day. The biggest hurdle, in my opinion, on any project is getting users, and once you've got the users, then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, 100%. We're offering something, truly unique. There's nothing like this on the market, as we talk now. So if we're able to, stick to our plan and get everything set up for our Web2 push by the end of the year, then we should have every success. But often with these things, if everything's timed perfectly, then you can capitalize on the market. But sometimes, people innovate; they're ahead of their time. So we just got to make sure that we stick to our plan, make sure that we do everything by the book, and make sure that we don't rush things. And obviously, we've learned a lot of lessons over the last couple of months and through TGE especially. So we just got to make sure that we learn from them, we adapt, we make sure we got the best team possible, and we try and stick to the plan.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And to be honest, I've really enjoyed this AMA. And once the open beta is live, we'll definitely get another AMA set up. And hopefully, we might be able to do it in Telegram, and you can stream your, we can do some wagering. I know Haribo's listening at the moment. I'll speak to him later. So I can maybe get him on stream and get someone from your team and do like a voice chat in the Telegram and show people what it's all about.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm just learning about the screen share and everything in the lounges in Telegram. So that's probably a really good idea, actually. And yeah, would love to show you guys when the beta is ready. Thanks for having me on today. I've really enjoyed it.
Before you go, I just want to ask, what games are going to be in the when it the very when it launches or the beta? What is it? Is it just the pool and the golf? Or...
Good question. So we've had pool and golf ready for, it feels like forever now. And the reason why we launched with those is because the guys have got so much experience building golf games. It was a no-brainer, and pool was kind of fast to market. So those games have kind of been ready for ages. We're very close to having karting ready and some hot alpha. I think next week we're probably going to drop our first karting video, and it should be a thriller, so look out for that. We've also got a basketball court built in game. We're not going to have a full basketball game, but we'll have like arcade games, so it'd be like 3-pointer shots and stuff. So maybe it would spawn you on a different place on the court and you've got to try and score a 3-pointer. And then we also have a bowling game, which is pretty much, it's been ready for a few months, but I think what we'd do is, we can't add too much straight away. So we'll probably launch with PvP pool and golf, and then we'll add PvP golf and then karting, and then we've got a full golf course now as well. So that's going to be super exciting once we add that. But yeah, by the end of the year, we're planning to have 7 sports. So included in those will be pool, golf, basketball, bowling, and karting, and then there'll be 2 extras as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love bowling as well, so have some bowling competitions.
Everyone loves like Wii Sports bowling. It's like everyone's
Exactly.
favorite memory about the Wii, and no one's tapped into bowling yet. It's crazy.
I know. Is the karting a bit like Mario Kart, or is it more realistic?
Everything we do is going to be super realistic, but we are. So once we do a full release, so when we target Web 2, we also start to add kind of the story and the lore. It wasn't that important for us to launch to Web 3, but when we launch to Web 2, there will be a lot more story around Versus X and why it is how it is. But it's slightly set in the future, like 50, 60 years. And that gives us a little bit of creative freedom to potentially add sports that we've invented ourselves, or adding a slightly futuristic twist to sports.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds amazing, and I know it's getting up to the hour now, so I'm just going to say thanks a lot for joining to everybody, and make sure you keep an eye on this. It sounds really exciting, and really glad to have you here today. And I'll let go if you got anything else.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. We've had 2 good armors speaking to you. I think it's because we're the British boys, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, I love that. I'll be going to I think probably after June I'll be attending like a lot of events, so it's part of my role doing BD and CMO position, so I'll be doing a lot of events, so I'll probably see you guys around as well.
Yeah, definitely, you'll have to come back. I'd be super. I think it'd be a great night doing a a streaming or a competition with the beta. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, no, it looks like a really awesome project. I definitely want to get my hands on the game and put some money in and see where we go. But thanks very much. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Make sure to come into our Telegram, the main token group. Scott works super hard, partnering with all these different projects, making AMAs, and he's an amazing guy. So come in to our Telegram and join the fun, and buy some tokens as well. Right, cheers, and Scott. I'll see you later.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, mate. Take care.